What if I told you when someone makes an offer, they become the dictator of how you can say yes? In contract law, the offeror literally controls the rules of acceptance. Hi, I'm Michael Dorff, and I'm the Executive Director of the Low-Milton Institute for Business Law and Policy here at UCLA School of Law. In the next 2 minutes, I'm going to explain to you how the offeror controls the means of acceptance and also talk about 3 scenarios that might trip you up. The offeror is the master of the offer. They get to decide how the offer will be accepted. There are 3 scenarios where that might be troubling. The first one is when the offeror dictates the channel of acceptance, the means of communication. So, for example, suppose that the offeror sends you an email with a job offer, and the job offer says in the email, you must accept by 5 o'clock Friday by calling my office phone. You reply, I accept with great joy. Do you have a contract? Do you have a job? No, you don't. Because the offeror dictated the means of acceptance and you did not follow their dictates. You responded by email. They told you you had to respond by phone, so there's no contract. Second scenario, acceptance by performance. Suppose a company posts on their website, we have a terrific internship. If you would like to accept this internship, we will give it to you if you are the first person to arrive at our offices dressed in a banana costume. You email to the head of HR and you say, I accept the internship. Have you got the internship? No. If you want it, you've got to dust off your banana costume, put it on, and get yourself down to the company's offices, performing the acceptance in exactly the way the offer dictated. If you don't do what the offeror said, you have no contract. There's no acceptance. Here's the third scenario. Silence as a means of acceptance. Your landlord texts you and says, the rent is going up to $1,200 a month. I'll assume you accept if I don't hear any disputes by 5 o'clock on Friday. Can the landlord do that? No, they can't. Silence usually cannot count as acceptance, even when the offeror wants it to. There is an exception, but 2 conditions have to be met. The first is the offeror has to say that silence counts as acceptance. We do have that one here. Offeror is trying to be the master of the offer, and as we know, usually that's enough. But with silence as acceptance, we also need a second condition. And that's that the offeror and this offeree have a past practice of treating silence as acceptance. Without that history of treating silence as acceptance, silence cannot count as acceptance. So normally the offeror is the master of the offer, but here we see that even that rule has some limits. So to sum up, the offeror is the master of the offer and can dictate the means and mode and timing of acceptance, but the law does have some limits. What's the strangest means of acceptance you can think of that would still be legally enforceable? Comment below and follow for contract law that actually makes sense.